Alrighty, everybody. So we're going to talk about the Rabbit OS that's on the web, and it is whole.rabbit.tech/RabbitOS. I don't use this a lot because I like using the actual device, and what I use it for doesn't necessarily need me to be on the web. Alright, so anyway, so I did use it today, though. I had an incident or a task that I needed to accomplish that was to transcribe a WAV file. And so I tried some of my normal tools and they weren't working, so I decided to give Rabbit OS a try since the transcript was not a private or a confidential file. So what I did was I did go to Rabbit OS and I put in my file here, and then I'm not going to do it this time, but I uploaded my file. I asked it to transcribe it, and it transcribed it. It did take a little while to do it, but it did great. And so when it finished transcribing, this is what it looked like. So if I go into my journal, if I can find where I requested the transcription, let's see if I can find it. You think I'd have paid attention to when I did it. Let's see, I think it's a different color. Here it is. So I have a transcription. It's notice the caret. So when I click on that, it shows what I have available. So it gives me a preview, the results, and it gives me an option to download it. But if you go through the process, I asked it to transcribe a WAV file. It asked what format I wanted it in, and I said a PDF would be fine. And then it went through the process of doing it. So again, using the Rabbit OS to accomplish certain tasks does take a while. But here's what it went through when it did it. It discovered that it was a 13-minute, almost 14-minute file. It recognized that there were two speakers. It identified them as host and expert. Had I known or had I thought about it, I probably would have given the host and the expert names. So next time I do this, I will give them names. It talks about what the discussion covered, and then it went through the process of creating it and the overview of that. And then if I go back up here, if I click on preview results, one of the things I kind of like is that when you click on it, it takes you to a site, and it is part of the Intern app, and it makes up funny names for the website, which is kind of cool. And then it shows you the actual document or whatever you ask for. So this is what I asked for again: transcript of an audio WAV file that discussed Gemini models and capabilities. And now look how cool this is. It gave me a table of contents, which I thought was awesome, and it really broke it down into the actual categories of the audio. And so that was really neat. So it gave the introduction, it broke down the different Gemini models, it talked about model versioning and stability, talked about supported languages, and then it gave a conclusion. There were a couple minor mistakes, like the first speaker did not say all of this. The second speaker did say part of this content right here, but after it got about right here, it was pretty much, I'd say 98% perfect. There were a couple times when it skipped a few words, but it did not make up anything. It is almost verbatim, and it did a really good job. And so kudos to Rabbit OS and the Intern for doing such a great job. I think I might make this my normal transcript tool, as long as it's not something that is, it has to be confident, it has to be public, and it cannot be confidential. It will not be for work related stuff. It'll just be for fun stuff. And so thank you again, Rabbit OS. You did a great job. Appreciate it. See you later. Bye bye.